everybody. Welcome to another edition of Inside the Pigskin. We have a big show tonight. We got 7 people on here. We're going to keep every last one of them busy. We got Michael Edwards in the house, putting his stuff out there, bring it up there. Somebody's going to have to read it, Mr. Ballrick. You go out there and put his stuff up there. Did I hear that there was a certain credential accredited? I don't know. I can't read it. Go ahead.
Certifiable SJB in this house. Is that true? Yes, I'm right here.
There you go. Keep it going now that you can read. Now we know you know how to read. All right, good stuff.
Sorry if this is the wrong channel. Last time I was in the wrong place, I gave SJB a shout out on the Elmo Loves Katy Perry channel, and I got banned for 3 months. Sorry. Good evening, everybody. Everyone from Eddie.
I've seen worse things happen than 3 months. Don't we know, Jeremy? You get my drift. All right, let's talk. Let's get to we'll introduce the crew here. You're welcome, Michael. You're definitely in the right place this time. We got Jeremy. We got Candy. We got Tom Shanahan. We got Marvin Powell III. We have Ben, an incredible hat troop. And we have Mel Farr and more hats on the way. Looking forward to getting up to Atlanta. Not before the Super Bowl. We'll have a wild party one up there when I apply for that one. I'm sure that Ben, we have a lot of good Atlanta people that will show us around there when we go out there and cause some havoc over there in a few years from now. God willing, I know where I'm at. All right, well, let's get to it. We have a busy agenda.
Just don't bark nobody.
Well, don't do what?
Because you might run into some people that be, you might run into some, I don't know, like some crazy people with red overalls on barking at people. So if you find those people, tell them, listen, no one, they're called Georgia fans. And if you're looking for them, find the nearest Walmart parking lot and they packed. It is packed with Georgia fans.
Yeah, well, if I wear a Michigan Wolverine shirt, I won't see my way out of Georgia. Really won't matter. Well, you never know what happens. All right, well, I'll tell you what. Let's get going here. We're going to talk about some dead rivalries in college football because I'll tell you a lot of this attributed to conference alignment and realignment. And we're going to talk about the Bedlam one against Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. You don't see that. You still see that one going. They have the keg of nails involving Louisville against Cincinnati, the civil conflict with Connecticut against Central Florida, the border war, Missouri versus Kansas, USC Notre Dame. I know that Mr. Powell obviously is a little bit emotional and attached to that one. The Nerds versus Hippie, Stanford against Cal, the backyard brawl, Pittsburgh versus West Virginia, Oklahoma versus Nebraska. I missed one. That was a pretty good one many, many years ago. And then war on I-4, USF against UCF, Central Florida and South Florida. The Iron Skillet, TCU versus SMU, the Civil War, Oregon and Oregon State to still play it. Pittsburgh versus Penn State was definitely a brawl. And Michigan and Notre Dame. It seems like Notre Dame's always in a little bit of this. So obviously there a lot to digest. So Jeremy, I'm going to limit this question to one or two right now. Which one of these two in your mind stands out?
Well, the Oklahoma State rivalry is one. And just because I like the name of it, the Iron Skillet rivalry between TCU and SMU.
Okay. Candy?
Man, you read off so many. I can't even remember all of them. I would say the Florida one, obviously, because anything in the state of Florida is big rivalries.
So war and I-4.
I just want to quick say a shout out. Thank you, Michael, for recognizing what we did at the Senior Bowl. I really appreciate that. Scott and I did some hard work there, and we enjoyed it. But we will be there every year going forward. So,
yeah. So you're referring to the UCF one as one of them?
Yes. Yeah.
And what other one? I gave you two of them. Any other ones that stand out? You want me to go over them again with you?
Quick, yes, please. Sorry.
Well, you have USC, Notre Dame, Michigan, Notre Dame's in there. Pittsburgh and West Virginia. Kansas against Missouri's in there. Just to name a few. You want me to go over a few more?
No, it's okay. I mean, I guess I could say the Michigan Notre Dame rivalry too.
Okay. Well, all right, Tommy.
Well, the first thing I have to do is correct you. It's Michigan State Notre Dame rivalry, because I just wrote about this. We're going to do an updated version of my book, Ray of Light, which has a chapter on the 1966 game of the century. And Notre Dame and Michigan State will play in 2026 as the 60th anniversary of the game of the century. And the 4 oldest rivalries Notre Dame has: Navy's oldest, second oldest is USC, third oldest is Purdue, fourth is Michigan State, not Michigan.
Well, actually,
So-
my list is Michigan
and,
against Notre Dame. But if you want to add Michigan State and Notre Dame to it, you can do it, because I know that was something you saw
I
every
know
year
that
too.
Michigan and Notre Dame have played a lot, but I'm telling you, lettered only
can't
by
hear you.
Navy,
Okay.
USC, and Purdue. Michigan is in the background. And the other thing that's significant is the administrations, the presidents, the athletic directors, State Notre Dame rivalry after the 2013 game, but they played the 50th anniversary in 2016,
Mhm.
and they're playing their 60th anniversary in 2026. That's how important the rivalry is to both schools.
So give me 2 that you're partial toward. Hey, 2. Tom?
I just told you, but make sure you're good. Michigan State Notre Dame rivalry is older than Michigan. No.
Okay, no problem. Just want to make sure I got 2 on record. No problem. Okay. Marvin.
Yeah, you listed off a lot of teams and rivalries. I only heard 2 teams, Scott. I heard Notre Dame and USC. I'm going to be honest with you. And it is, listen, college football fans are robbed. Notre Dame alums and fans and players, USC the same, are robbed of the fact that we won't be playing this rivalry anytime in the next 5 years at least. And it's horrible when you think that these schools combined have almost 30 NFL Hall of Famers. These schools combined have almost 25 national championships. These schools combined have 15 Heisman Trophy winners. These schools have been playing each other for 100 years, only to be stopped by World War II, I believe, in COVID. It's horrible. Is
that your internet that's breaking it up?
Mine? Not that I know of.
Can you?
I hear you fine, Marvin.
Okay.
I hear you fine, Marvin, too.
All right. So yeah, it's horrible that this rivalry isn't renewed. As I said, this was the landmark game for so many years.
Yeah, about half the screens are going out. Mine's out right now. Scott's out. Candy's out.
Tom, that's you, not all of us.
That's your internet.
That might be your internet, Tommy.
All right, Ben, you got it.
Well, I guess it validated it now.
Ramel,
Go ahead.
you got it.
All right.
Is it me?
All right. So who are the 2? So which 2 did you say, Marvin?
Yeah, I said USC, Notre Dame, and I forgot the other ones. That's all I was thinking about, Scott. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm sure it'll come back. All right, Tommy's back. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Mel?
Well, Scott, you teed this one up for us, and I'm surprised that Marvin didn't take UCLA and USC was not in that list, because that's not really a rivalry. We're above USC. So
Is it my internet or yours?
I understand why you didn't include that, because that's not really a rivalry, because UCLA is by far the more dominant and prominent school. Out of that list that you named, I'm going to miss seeing USC as much as I hate to watch them in those maroon and mustard uniforms. But I'm going to miss seeing that game, the USC and Notre Dame game, because I'm a college nut just like Marvin, and I watched a lot of those games. There's a lot of great players that played in that game. They a lot of Heisman Trophy winners on both sides. So that's a game that I'll miss seeing, because that's typically what happened after UCLA beat up on beat up on USC. Then they try to feel better and go out and beat up on Notre Dame. Typically, that game took place after we played one another.
Okay. Ben?
Yeah, I mean a lot of really really good games. I think some games that wasn't on that list that probably should have been that people are. It's very very Louisville, Kentucky is a very 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 underappreciated rivalry. I remember they used to play each other first game of the year every single year. UCF and USF ain't what it used to be because the teams ain't as good, but there is a rivalry out there, and I finna show my roots. It's called the Battle of I-16. You got GSU versus GSU. You got Georgia State versus Georgia Southern. And Georgia State just came to the party very, very frequently. I mean, very, very recently. But it doesn't. I gotta give USC Notre Dame some love. There are certain games that you do not let go away. You just don't. I don't care. Conference realignment, Marcus Freeman, whoever's at Notre Dame. You don't let that go because some of these young players don't understand. I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean Notre Dame is probably the biggest brand because they got the freaking Catholic Church, they got Touchdown Jesus, they got Rudy. I mean, they got a lot of stuff going for them, and you gonna just let that go. So, and the very first tush push that ever happened was the Bush push when Reggie Bush pushed Matt Leinart against Notre Dame. Like, come on, man! Like rivalries is where people are. You know, you make names for yourself. So yeah. I don't like that they just let this stuff go away like it's not important. Mm-hmm. I mean, the fact that you call Oregon State Civil War, it's called the Civil War. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, the rivalries is a part of the college football fabric. And when people say we're going to develop new rivalries, no, you won't. No, because it's not the same. So. Look, you get a bunch of kids from Southern California to go up against a bunch of kids from Indiana. Oh, sparks gonna fly. Something is going to go down with a game like that. But I hope we come back to that because certain things are worth holding on to. I think some of these rivalries. I hope we come back to it. It's a shame that they let it go just letting it go by the wayside like that.
Here's a couple that I'm going to talk about. Number one, Oklahoma and Nebraska was a great rivalry many, many years ago when it was played around Thanksgiving. That's one I think we really missed back in the day. Now, obviously, Nebraska have been humbled because they're in the Big Ten. They're not as good. You get beat up, and they realize the quality of the competition. The Big Ten's way better than it ever was in the Big 8, Big 12, whatever you want to call it these days. You know, I-4 rivalry, UCF and USF, is great when they were in the same conference. I just don't think the tradition of the program stacks up to where USC and Notre Dame is. That to me should not go away. That I would. So if I were going to preface them in order, I would put Oklahoma and Nebraska number one because of the history and how close they were. And it was actually Nebraska leaving the Big Ten because Oklahoma's new buddy was Texas instead, and that's why Nebraska bolted for the Big Ten money. And then I'll take Notre Dame and USA all day long, and UCF. Battle of I-4, all right, but they're in terms of the strength and tradition of the schools, they're probably fifth or sixth anyways. So I put this out there because it's a thinking person's question, and it gets people to think of how everything has changed because of conference alignment, and that's why it was brought up in the first place. I'm glad everybody had various opinions on it. With that said, Super Bowl 60 was the Patriots' 12th appearance, and out of 60, 20% are all Super Bowls. Their 29-13 loss meant that they have the most defeats with 6. You imagine that the New England Patriots now have 6 losses and they've been 20% of these games. Jeremy, what's your take on that?
Well, they're on the wrong side of the history, which is what we talked about the last time I was on when we knew that these were the two teams going. But congratulations to them on getting there. I just want the Lions to get there once before I die.
I can't tell you how many times I've told you that 10 times over. I've been around longer than you. The last time they won a championship was on my birthday 5 years before I was hatched in 1957. That's where December 29th plays a significant role. Candy?
Unfortunately, yes, they've been there that many times and lost, but it means they've been there that many times more than how many other teams that would just love to have a shot at being playing in that game. Yeah, it's unfortunate for them on the wrong side of history, but at least they've made it there that many times and all the times they've won it. So you got to look at it that way. It's the last game of the season, and they made it there that many times. So kudos to them.
Mel?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people who'd love to say that they lost the Super Bowl 6 times. That means you had six opportunities to get there. I mean, Buffalo went 3 years in a row? Was it 3 years in a row that Buffalo went and they lost? 4 years in a row they went. So I thought, yeah, they went 4 years in a row and lost. I mean, but I guess it's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all, right? So it's better to have gone and lost than never to have gone at all. So I would take going and losing over being at the house or being in Cancun.
Okay, Marvin.
Yeah, this is what you call champagne problems. This is what you call good problems. This is what you call rich people problems. I mean, again, I'm a Jet fan. My teammate, I ain't never in my life seen my team play for a championship. So I don't have any pity for them. Good for them. They've had good ownership and they had Tom Brady for 20 years. That makes a big difference. And they had Belichick and Kraft, and they had an alignment, and these guys were out there getting it done. So, yeah, again, these are what you call good problems if you're the Patriots.
Ben?
Yeah, unfortunately, my team was a part of the 6 wins for those Patriots. So, but I do agree. I heard Reggie Miller say something a long time. They asked him about LeBron James going to all these finals and losing. They said, Reggie, would you want to go to the finals that many times and lose? He went, yes. Dude, I mean, that means I lost to the best. I lost to the best team in the world, not a better team. I lost to the best team in the world that year. So, yeah, because, I don't know about Marvin and Mel. It's like, no, you don't want to lose a super duper, but man, everybody's watching me. Mom, can you see me? I'm just saying. So, yeah, the Patriots have become, a part of the gold standard of NFL football, and it's hard to do it in different eras. Like you had the Tom Brady era, Belichick, and people thought, oh, that's it. All right, no more of that. Here comes Vrabel, who made his name with those guys. So I don't like giving this much credit. The Patriots are the evil empire of the NFL. But the powers that be came together, aka Sam I Am Darnold, and shut it down. So we can come on here and talk. People thought no Bill Belichick, first ballot Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? I mean, no Robert Kraft. They got to win the Super Bowl, right? Wrong. No. So anyway, but yeah, shout out to the Patriots though. They are one of the best franchises because the hardest ability is sustainability, and they found a way to do it. So, hey man, congratulations to them. Do I want to talk about this? Do I want to talk about 28-3? Absolutely not. I don't want to talk about that because you talking about you just want to see them go, Jeremy. God, you don't want to see them go and do that. You don't want to. God, man, we had him. Damn. Anyway, hate Tom Brady, man, because he's that good. But shout out to them Patriots.
You're starting to sound like Mr. Dennis Green there, talking about the Arizona Cardinals versus the Bears for a minute.
I mean, it's Jim, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. As long as I've been a Falcons fan my whole life. When I was in the NFL, I still used to root for them Dirty Birds, and I said, all right, we're going to win this thing as long as we don't give them an extra possession. We gave them an extra possession, couldn't cover Julia Edelman. And I'm looking at Robert Kraft. I'm looking at Robert Kraft, and I'm looking at Arthur Blank. Like, what? How? Do you know that my Falcons lost the Super Bowl and they never trailed? They never trailed the whole time. They lost.
Right. They lost on that last play to Chris Hogan.
So Marvin, I know pain, sir. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it for real. And I met Joe Namath. You know what I'm saying? I met Joe Namath when I lived up there in Dirty Jerry's. Right? And I said, I went up to him, I said, you Joe Namath? He said, this is what he said. I said, man, you Joe Namath. He looked at me and said, I better be. And he walked off. I said, I like the whole smoking Joe. Hey, man. So, I hope my Falcons get back. The biggest critic of the Falcons ever is my mother. She talks more trash about the Falcons. We are a family divided. Just know that. Love her, but I don't support her.
I have a nickname for him, but you won't like
it. I met Susie Colbert. She's gorgeous too, and Joe Namath has good taste. That's all I can tell you. So leave it alone. Even if he was drunk when he made those comments. Susie Colbert's a sweetheart. I got to know her pretty well a couple of times. So go ahead, Tommy.
Yeah, but Ben, I wanted to correct you on one thing. The Patriots are no longer the Evo Empire because Belichick's not the coach anymore. And one thing about the Patriots, though, with those 12 Super Bowls, they've been under 4 coaches. Vrabel's the 4th coach. Raymond Berry took them there. That was the year I think they got killed by the Bears. Bill Parcells took them there. And, of course, Belichick. I think the real story on the Patriots and all the success is Robert Kraft as their owner. I'm not sure if he was the owner yet when Parcells took him there, but certainly for all the Belichick years and now with Vrabel. And we got to mention one more thing about Belichick. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, if the news got outside of the basketball, but Saturday was the Duke, North Carolina basketball game, and Belichick shows up with his 24-year-old girlfriend, Jennifer Hudson, and she's wearing a T-shirt.
Yeah, I saw that.
You guys hear about this story?
You can go ahead. Some of them have. I saw the shirt. Okay,
No.
go ahead. Get
A
your
few years ago, Kraft got busted for going to this massage parlor somewhere in Florida. So here's Jennifer Hudson, Jordan Hudson.
Jordan Hudson. Jennifer's the singer.
Yeah, Jordan Hudson wearing a T-shirt, making fun of Kraft in this massage parlor. What is she in 7th grade?
Yeah.
And Belichick's about to turn 74 years old, and he's walking around with a girl like that. It's insane.
Yeah.
So
the only thing I'm going to say about their 6 defeat, it came at the hands of a Seahawks defense. Okay, that by the way, the Seahawks trailed in the postseason for 1 minute and 35 seconds. Period. So if you're going to lose to a team, and that is totally doesn't seem real. The Seattle Seahawks, give them their due, trailed for the entire postseason for 1 minute and 35 seconds. That defense was awfully good. Well, let me finish, Jeremy. They were awfully good this whole thing, and I'll tell you one thing: New England ran into a buzzsaw there. Go ahead, Jeremy. I want to get my thought out while it was still fresh.
Well, that minute and 30 seconds, wasn't that versus the Rams when they had to tie it back up to beat them?
Regardless, it doesn't matter. It's a minute and 35 seconds all postseason. Doesn't matter how it came from. A minute 35 an entire postseason, Jeremy, it seems like an eternity, man.
I know, and I was just making sure I had the team right.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, that's fine. The bottom line is the Patriots ran into a buzzsaw. A minute 35 seconds. If they did, Seattle, it didn't Drake may get sacked with 6 times. He was running for his life out there, too. It was a tough night for this kid. It really was. But nevertheless, they still have the most losses in Super Bowl history, no matter how we want to pin it down. And that's all there is to it. That's my facts, and I'm sticking to it. All right.
Amen.
All right. So the 2018 NFL Draft first-round quarterbacks include Sam Darnold, who won the Super Bowl. In fact, the first USC quarterback to do it. Lamar Jackson got into a conference championship. Mel's favorite person, I know that Marvin's going to love it, Josh Rosen. Okay. I know this is a Marvin moment. Okay. Josh Allen got to a conference championship. Baker Mayfield divisional round. Let's look at that draft class, Jeremy. About at least you got one in that group that won one, and unless Allen can pull it off and Baker can do it, you have 3 possibilities. I'm not holding my breath at the other 3, Jeremy.
Yeah, Josh Rosen, the guy that's now managing a Pizza Hut in Scottsdale, Arizona, or something. But other than that, the other guys are all great quarterbacks. The other 4 you named: Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and of course, Super Bowl champion Sam Darnold.
So you have some possibilities to add to that list, but at least Darnold went ahead and got the first one, and I'm happy for Sam, the gunslinger. Candy?
As you look at most of those quarterbacks, though, Sam Darnold's the one that danced from team to team to team to find the right team to get it done with. And that's what he did when he went to Seattle. They were the most complete team out of all those, of all the other teams that these other quarterbacks, albeit good quarterbacks, are on. That just proves that it takes a team and not just a good quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
Well, it's his 5th team. I think he's the first quarterback ever to be on 5 teams to go ahead and win a Super Bowl. That says a lot. You try to talk about finding a home. That's one's doing it. How many quarterbacks take the second or third time to go around? I know Jeremy threw one at us the other day, which was really great about Jim Plunkett and how he put that one against Ron Jaworski. More power for you for popping into the chat room, bringing that. I knew that one, but I'm glad you threw it out there anyways. But, sometimes it takes these guys a few places to get it right, and I'm glad that Darnold finally got it right. Okay, Mel?
Well, we all know that drafting quarterback is not an exact science. So, you swing sometimes, and you more often than not, it seems like you miss, and every now and then you get lucky. I mean, even the Jets. I mean, Sam, this is what his fourth team that he's been with. Great for him. Baker Mayfield, he's on his third team now, I think it is, or his fourth team as well, and he was the number one overall pick. Because both of those guys went to very poor franchises, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. They were very good franchises, stable franchises with good head coaches, even though both of them lost their jobs this past year. Probably because the quarterback didn't get it done. It's just a matter of, and Josh Rosen, of course, that is what it is. It just goes to show you, that we talked about this before, more quarterbacks, their careers are wasted or ruined by, where they're drafted. A lot of teams are drafted number one for a reason. They're drafted in the top 10 for a reason. It's usually because they're a bad franchise, and that doesn't change overnight. And that's, it's obvious because, you look at Baker Mayfield and you look at Sam Darnold. Neither one of them succeeded where they were initially drafted. They got to some pretty good franchises and had success. But again, like I said, I'm high on Sam Darnold. I'm one to admit my mistake. I admit that I was wrong. The guy showed me a lot in the last couple of years. It shows he has a lot of talent, a lot of arm talent. I guess a lot of things that everybody saw that I didn't see, and guys are saying now that they saw it all along. That had given up on Sam, but every pundit now knew this day was coming. I don't know how, but they all knew this day was coming. But I'm happy for Sam.
And by the way, Nick in the chat room, I know about North Dakota State. Please join us on Saturday. That'll be a topic that we lead in with. That'll be our top story about North Dakota State. So please join us. I've got a lot. I'm working on that show already, and that's going to be an interesting story. But that's all over the place. In fact, I spent ahead and spent with Cody Parker, I think, the quarterback for North Dakota State. We'll get a soundbite on him talking about that. So I'm glad you brought that up. That's a good preview for Inside the Pigskin on Saturday. All right, Marvin.
Yeah, I'm really not surprised about Sam Darnold's success. I watched him play at USC. I saw every game he played at USC, and especially in that last season, which ended with the Rose Bowl versus Saquon Barkley and the Penn State Nittany Lions. He was amazing, man. He was a really good quarterback, big gun, athletic. I was really excited as a Jet fan. I was really excited to see him go to the Jets on one hand because I knew how talented he was. But on the other hand, my question was, do we have a plan for this guy? Are we going to mess up his career? And, the Jets did what the Jets do. And this kid bounced around. He showed the ultimate perseverance, mental toughness, and went to the right organization who was ready for him. And this guy balled, man. He had a really good season and completed the Super Bowl with no turnovers, which is what you want out of your quarterback. In regards to the other quarterbacks, I'll be honest, I was really high on Josh Rosen. I thought Josh Rosen was going to come into the league and tear it up. I mean, I thought he was going to be it. And obviously I was wrong. And like Mel said, man, it's such a crapshoot in so many ways. It really is. I mean, you could sit here. I guess for me, it's easy. I can understand when people say it's easy to identify the Andrew Luck, the John Elway, the Caleb Williams. These guys just have different talent, but for the rest of these quarterbacks, it's a crapshoot. And like Mel said, you better hope that you go to a good organization that has a plan for you. So, you read off a lot of quarterbacks there. Lamar is the man, obviously, and and Josh Allen. These guys are really good players. But for Sam to be the first of that group to win the Super Bowl, that says something, and that puts pressure on Josh and Lamar. They need to get busy now.
Great points, Ben.
Yeah, the thing about Sam Darnold was he got drafted by the Jets. When the last time the Jets had a good quarterback, he was from SC, and his name was Mark Sanchez. He went to back-to-back AFC championship games with Rex Ryan, right? And then after that, then he leaves there and he goes to Carolina. I want to say that he was teammates with Baker Mayfield in Carolina. They had him and Baker Mayfield in Carolina. Then he goes to San Francisco. Then he lands with Minnesota. A quarterback is only as good as the team and scheme he's around. This guy landed in Minnesota, that quarterback get hurt, and then he's the only quarterback in NFL history to have 13 wins for 2 different franchises. What I like the most about Sam Darnold is Sam Darnold proves one thing: it takes time. Peyton Manning didn't win his first playoff game till year 6. It took Peyton Manning 6 years to win, but nowadays, as soon as you come out of college as a top quarterback, you got to start. You're starting week 1. So sometimes by the time a quarterback is halfway decent, he got beat up so bad, his confidence is so bad. Everybody wants to look at Sam Darnold saying he was seeing ghosts with the Jets. Well, he's just being honest, right? And people want to use that against him. But what I like the most about Sam Darnold was he says, look, man, I had to survive and grow up in New York. Most quarterbacks don't have to deal with that level of scrutiny. Play it a day in, a day out. And by the time it was time for him to start, look at the way Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and current Minnesota Vikings are saying we shouldn't have gotten rid of Sam. They're literally saying that if we didn't get rid of Sam Darnold, that could be us, winning it out because he won 13 games the year before. But I am happy for Sam Darnold. I was like a lot of people though. I jumped on the bandwagon because misery loves company. It's easy to talk trash about a player when he's not playing well. But the thing about Sam Darnold, he has what all quarterbacks need. He got staying power. All right. I haven't looked my best, but Sam Darnold let people know I ain't chasing, regular season MVPs. He may never be in the regular season MVP, but he's going, what they going to say now? Like, what they got to say now. And I agree with you, Marv. Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and all these big-time quarterbacks. I'm looking at Jalen Hurts. I'm looking at Sam Darnold. And I'm looking at guys who, and I know Sam Darnold was the 3rd overall pick. He's a little bit different, but they lapping these dudes because everybody gets caught up in this regular season stat sheet. If you can attend the NFL honors, that means you're not in the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold was getting ready for the Super Duper, and now he and Kenneth Walker, I think they're in Disneyland right now, riding on rides. Congratulations to that, man. I mean, I'm happy for him, and they got him for a steal last offseason. They're going to have to re-up this offseason, though. They're going to have to back up the truck.
I'm glad you brought up Kenneth Walker. Great stuff. I know, Tom. That's a great segue to Tommy, too, isn't it? But before we do that, Michael Edwards has a question for Candy, then we'll feed into Tom. Go ahead. Please, is there a camp for Ken Dorsey, the current pick, number 1, Mendoza? I see it, but what do you think? All right, go ahead, Candy. This one's for you. We're going to stay out of it.
Is there a comp for Ken Dorsey? I don't know. I see. Is there a comp for Ken Dorsey, the current pick, number 1, Mendoza? I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Well, your question, so you're the one that we're not going to. We'll see. Join the country club. Maybe she'll have time to think about it Thursday night. There was some. That's a little teaser.
I was researching something else, so
I researched.
Hey, Jay,
I researched
go ahead,
it
Jeremy.
for you if you want. It says Fernando Mendoza's pro comp is Jacoby Brissett with a dash of Brock Purdy.
Okay. There you go. There's your answer. All right, Tommy, go ahead.
Yeah, the thing I find interesting about those quarterbacks is the 2 guys that turned out to be most ready to play in the NFL early in their career were Josh Allen from Wyoming and Lamar Jackson from Louisville. Mayfield was number 1 pick out of Oklahoma. Darnold, number 3 out of USC. Rosen, number 10 out of UCLA. You'd think those guys would be the ones best prepared to go to the NFL. So you just never know. Part of that is Mayfield and Darnold both went to bad teams.
Right.
And then Jackson went 32nd, so Baltimore was a strong team for him to join. But Josh Allen out of Wyoming, who would pick a Wyoming guy to be ready to jump to the NFL? So you just never know with quarterbacks. You never know.
See, I expected a little bit more. I'm like you, Marvin. I expected a little bit more out of Josh Rosen. He was just a victim of bad luck in a bad situation.
Josh
I
Rosen
really
couldn't
did.
play. I never saw it. He couldn't play.
Well,
I'm like you. I'm like you, that man. Everybody, I knew that Josh Rosen was gonna struggle when people say things like, "Well, he don't
Plus, he
really
had other
need football.
interests.
He play
Yeah, he had
football."
other interests. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like
He
when
wasn't
people
hungry.
listen, Arch Manning sits back and laughs at all of us. People saying, "Man, he need to play better than that." He took less money in NIL. He was gonna be getting NIL money if NIL didn't exist. He was still gonna be making guap, even if he's a Manning and he's gonna be the #1 overall pick whenever he comes out. So of course he's gonna come back to Texas. I ain't mad at him. Every quarterback in college football is jealous of one quarterback, and his name is Carson Beck. Not because he played in Miami, because all he had to do was play football. Talk that talk, Carson. He get to go to the beach, do some TikToks, and go out there and throw touchdown passes. I ain't mad at that, man.
Life is. I still expect a little bit more out of Josh Rosen than he is, regardless of what you say, whether his interests were there or not. But when you look at the rest of that class, Josh Allen had a good situation. Buffalo couldn't get a quarterback to go their way, and they finally drafted one. And they didn't have to worry about cold weather because it's colder in Wyoming than it is in Buffalo, so that was easy. And when you look at the rest of that group there, you've got Darnold, obviously, took 5 times to get it right, and now the Jets are biting themselves in the backside as well. So you had a lot of good quarterbacks in that group, and Baker Mayfield had a decent career in Cleveland. I think they're wishing that they never let him go, but then again, they wished a lot of things in Cleveland they wouldn't let it happen anyhow, and we'll leave it at that. You know what? I think it's time for a quick station break. Andy, go ahead.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth. Talks about his 40-plus years in the media business and how it has evolved, old school media versus new school media. Get your copy today. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. There's also an audio version out there, so go grab that as well if that's your liking. There's a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there is a plethora of great content, so go check it out. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. Last but not least, well, 2 things. If you want to be a guest on the show or have topic ideas, you can always email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. Last but not least, if you see the red subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner, that means you have not yet subscribed to us. What are you waiting for? Just click it, like us, share us with all your friends and family and anyone you think would enjoy. Monday nights, we talk baseball. Tuesday nights, we talk football. Wednesday nights on Sports Exchange, you never know what Scott's got up his bag of tricks. Thursday night on Fire Up, you don't know what we're going to be talking about either. So you got to tune in, turn on those notifications so you are notified to take it all in. And then we have other programming as well, like Inside the Pigskin on Saturdays. If you like Fan in the End during the day, if you're available, go check out all of the great programming we have on our channel. Thanks, Scott.
And thanks to Michael Edwards, too. I appreciate it. I appreciate you subscribing. I appreciate the thing about the book as well. And there is an audio book out there as well. All right, let's continue on. Let's continue the Indiana story as we wrap up, unless there's anything that's out there for somebody else to talk about. So, all right, we'll continue on the Indiana story. I'm going to continue to bring them up as I get more and more information about it. But, they actually had as many top 10 wins this season in its entire history. Unbelievable. They beat 6 top 10 teams, got Illinois 63-10 at home. Oregon, they ended up beating them 30-20. Ohio State 13-10 on a neutral field. I don't know what they did to Alabama, 38-3. And then you got Oregon again as well on a neutral field. So then you also have Miami 27-21. And from 1899 to 2024, Indiana was 116-1 against top 10 teams. That to me is just unbelievable, Jeremy. When you think about 6 top 10 wins in 1 year, and up to this point, they had only 6 in their entire history.
And think about that coaching job that Kurt Signetti did with that team, because they were full of they had 2 4-star recruits, and the rest of them were 3 and 2-star recruits. And the way he coached them up, that defense got a heartbeat the last 2 years out of Aiden Fisher, who's coming into this draft, and I think he's a very underrated, slightly undersized middle linebacker. I love this kid. I think he has a high motor, high football IQ.
Candy?
It goes to show you that Indiana used to be a basketball school, and it is with NIL and everything like that, it has changed the narrative of Indiana football. And with getting Kurt Signetti as the coach, on to better things, and I think it's going to level a playing field for some schools.
Okay. Mel?
Well, I mean, we've talked about it ad nauseum how the great job that Kurt Signetti did there at Indiana. I mean, what he did was unbelievable. And it's not, Marvin and Ben know this. It's not how many stars it is when you come in. That doesn't matter. I played with a lot of guys who are supposed to be. I mean, I've seen a lot of guys that were supposed to be this, that, and the other. And I look at them like, are you serious? I mean, this guy's supposed to be better than me for real. And it's how many stars you are when you leave. That's what's important, what you do while you're there. And again, Indiana had a very old football team. I mean, I think their average age was, older than the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears are one of the youngest teams in the NFL. Indiana had the oldest team in the NCAA, and their players were older than, his team was older than the Chicago Bears. So a lot of guys that played a lot of football, and that's what's important. They played a lot of football, and it's about team building. Not every star is going to work. Just because you recruit a bunch of 5 stars doesn't mean they're all going to mesh. You have to have 5 stars. You got to mix in some 3 stars. You got to mix in a 2-star that you bring in, and you redshirt them. You get a weightlifting program. You get in your program. You build them up in your program. You teach them your program, and he understands the program and what it takes to be successful at that university. You have to have all that in there. You put them all in the pot and you mix it all up, and then you hopefully you win some championships. Hopefully they'll do that this year at UCLA. I mean, they've been recruiting 5 stars at USC, and what has it done for them? They got a 5-star coach supposedly. They got all these. They got the number 1 class this year, and what's that done for them at USC? So we'll see what happens. Oh, I'm sorry, Marvin. I didn't mean to take a shot at you, man. I apologize, man.
Let me add a little bit of something to that. Oregon, number 1, it's tough to beat a team twice in 1 year, but Indiana did Oregon was one thing. They ended up beating them away 30-20. Then they got on a neutral field. They embarrassed them 56-22. So tell me it's tough to beat a team twice, but the way they embarrassed them the second time was too surreal. All right, Marvin.
Yeah. So in regards to Mel's question, what have we done with all those 5 stars? We've turned it into 11 national championships, 8 Heismans, 14 players in the National Football Hall of Fame, and almost 200 All-Americans. That's what we've done with that. In regards to Indiana,
as Janet Jackson said, "What have you done for me lately?"
Well, we had a 5-star who just won a Heisman and a 5-star who just won a Blitnikoff in the last 3 years. With that said,
those are individual awards. What have you done as a team, sir?
Mel, Yanni, you better stop. I'm trying to have mercy on you today on national TV.
Well, all right, Mel, you do it.
I like walking that fine line, man. It's a fine line. I know I'm treading on thin ice. I understand that.
Yeah, listen, the Indiana situation, it speaks to 2 things: leadership matters, team matters. Signetti he's out there getting it done, man. He's finding ways to communicate with his players, develop his players, encourage his players, as well as his assistants. I mean, he's on them as well. I mean, he's a phenomenal leader. He identifies leaders in the coaching and within the team. He's out there with 2 and 3 stars, rolling on Alabama and Oregon, Ohio State. So yeah, man, leadership matters, team matters. Kurt Signetti's here to stay.
I mean, whatever it's worth today, Indiana announced that Bob Knight's going to be getting a statue outside of Assembly Hall, and long overdue, but Bob Knight is getting a statue once and for all, so I'm glad that they came to their senses and ended up doing it. All right, Ben?
Yeah, Kurt Signetti, what he did with Indiana, when he said average is the enemy, or don't he say like standards over slogans and things like that? Kurt Signetti was one of those guys that he's always probably coached this way. He's never got the recognition until now. I don't think his coaches don't switch up like that. I think for Kurt Signetti, when you start getting the players who nobody wants, when you start saying, well, we're a basketball school, they go big bad Michigan, they go big bad, Ohio State, they go big bad Penn State. We can't beat nobody for real. Yeah, we can beat subpar talent. So we go, okay, so we lost one time in 2024, then we come back in 2025 and we beat everybody in front of us. He has a strategy that works, and standards do not shift. You make players adjust to the standard. Now we're going to adjust to every play. No, they either going to get with it or get lost. I'm not dealing with it. And yes, I think what Miami tried to do is the only way Indiana could win it. Without NIL, they're not going to have a shot because he won't be able to get those players in there. Miami thought they could buy. Miami tried to go to the front of the line. No, Miami, you got to win the ACC first. Right. And you win the national. Indiana goes, no, dude. We ran the gauntlet. What Indiana, the most impressive thing Indiana did is they beat the brakes off of Alabama. They look like Alabama used to look. They beat them so bad that he was like, dude, that's Alabama. Yes, because the thing about football is this: for one game, all that cute stuff don't matter. One game, and yeah, I really, really respect what Indiana has done. And Kurt Signetti is a guy. He looking at people like, man, he said, man, I've been around a long time. It's a lot of coaches that know who I am. It's just people only respect winning natties, as if to say that's the only standard there is in college football. But what are you gonna say when the Hoosiers are the top team of college football? That's forever. People say it may never happen again. It don't got to. It don't ever got to happen again. Certain schools will never win a conference championship, let alone a natty. And isn't that the sign of being a winner? As soon as you win it all, people try to discredit. Well, they were the oldest team. Well, they call it a young man's game, right? Yeah. Well, okay. Well, they were just very old young men. How about we look at it like that? But I don't discredit. And Fernando Mendoza from Miami wanted to go to Miami. They told him, nah. Manny Diaz told him no. Cristobal told him no. So Fernando Mendoza said, if I can't play in Miami, sorry, Miami, y'all can't win it. And it's going to be one, to me, the greatest college football story, to me, I could be wrong, it's Stetson Bennett for a player. To me, it's up there. It's one of the greatest. When you look at what he did and what he left. Right now, the greatest college football story got to be the Indiana Hoosiers, because people's like, wait a minute, you say Indiana beat Miami in football for the national championship? What, in Miami? Right. Stop lying. Yeah. So, yeah, man, I congratulations to him. And like I said, coaches like Kurt Signetti, coaches that don't bend, and coaches that are very demanding, they are very, very, very hard to beat. They hard to play for, but look at the result. Nick Saban, Kirby Smart, these guys are hard to play for. Look at the results. So, hey man, and they ain't going nowhere. They the defending national champions are the Indiana Hoosiers.
And don't
first
forget,
of all, Ben. First of all, Ben, you're not wrong. So we'll leave it at that. You're dead on. Period. Okay. So therefore, because I said so, and everybody else on the planet knows 16-0 says so too. Okay, Tommy.
Yeah, what's interesting is Indiana college football, and then Seattle in pro football. They had bookend seasons. They were both complete teams. They had a solid offense, solid defense, and kicking game, special teams. So that was very interesting. Another thing about Indiana is in 2 years of the 12-team playoff, with 4 teams getting by, there's the only one to win a bye. All 4 teams lost last year, and Indiana was the only one to win of the teams with a bye this year. I also think you mentioned a little earlier about Seattle only trailed for 1:30 or something like that. Yeah. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think Indiana never trailed in the playoffs.
I don't think so either. No.
Yeah. The other Indiana story that I found very telling about Kurt Signetti's success there at Indiana is the president is a woman named Pam Whitten. And Pam Whitten used to be the dean of the journalism and communication and arts at Michigan State. And I met her about 20 years ago when I was still working in San Diego. She was at a convention in San Diego, and she contacted me, said she likes to visit with alumni, get their thoughts. And so I had a cup of coffee with her 20 years or so ago. And, you know, it's not like I'm John Feinstein or Michael Wilburn, but she still took the time out of her day to meet with me. Well, one of the things I read later was, you know, she was the brains behind hiring Signetti. And Signetti said one of the reasons he took the Indiana job and re-upped with that contract renewal instead of going to some place like Penn State is because of the president, Pam Whitten. And I think that says a lot about her, that she spent a lot of time to get to know a lowly alum like me. And then, you know, clearly she knew how to connect and evaluate Kirk Signetti, and Kirk Signetti saw the same characteristics in her. So what a story that is, too, that I think about Indiana, because Signetti said he wouldn't have taken the job, or he said the main reason he took the job was Pam Whitten.
Well, Michael, if they don't win 8 games, if they win 8 games next year, it is what it is. But they got their natty, and that's all that really matters, anyways. All right, let's go back to the pros. The Atlanta Falcons have hired Kevin Stefanski and said, "Coach, let's go rapid fire on this, okay? Because I have a bunch of other topics I want to get to." Jeremy, what are your thoughts about Stefanski going to the Falcons?
It may be a good hire. Look what he did with the Browns when they were awful. You know, they got a first-round pick quarterback in his tenure, and he took them to the playoffs a couple of times. But other than that, you know, he was coach of the year twice, wasn't he? With the Browns?
Yeah, I think so. Okay.
All
I'm asking. In 2023. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
yeah,
he's a good coach. Let's hope he gets the right coordinators down there. And let's hope Ian Cummings is a good GM to help them get the talent around that they need there.
Okay, Candy.
His head coaching record career-wise is 46-58. So he doesn't have the best but he hasn't been on the best teams, though, either. Let's face it. We've all said the Cleveland Browns are not the place to go as a coach. But, you know, hopefully he has more talent, I think, in Atlanta. Let's see what he can do with the talent he has, and maybe they can surround him with even more talent with the draft and everything. So,
yeah.
Let's see.
All right, Mel, you're there. What do you think? Good hire?
Guy went 8-26 the last 2 years. The coach said the Falcons went 16-18 the last 2 years. Cleveland finished up last year losing 5 out of the 6 last games. The Falcons finished up winning the last 4 games of the year. So that pretty much sums up how I feel about the hire. I don't understand it. I'm not impressed by it. If I'm a Falcon, if I'm Ben, I'm not real excited. I don't think Ben is. I would be real excited about having Kevin Stefanski there, but I'm not a Falcon fan. So,
okay. Marvin,
it really comes down to one question: who's the quarterback? That's it,
right.
Man. This is a quarterback-driven league, and
it doesn't matter. He's ruined. How many quarterbacks is he ruined?
I don't know if I would put it like that, man. I think that situation in Cleveland with him, you know, he got a lot of bad press. There were a lot of things that were done that people thought that he was taking shots at Shador by not mentioning his name in press conferences and things that I thought were unusual. So yeah, who's his quarterback? You know, what's his relationship with the quarterback? Does he know how to treat a quarterback? Because what happened with Shador this year wasn't great press. But yeah, Penix is a talented kid. I like Michael Penix, but the guy gets hurt, man. And I hate to put that on him, but he's injury prone. I just don't know if you could put the franchise on him. They drafted him in the first round after they gave Kirk Cousins $100 million guaranteed. But, you know, Kirk's out the door, going to be out the door. So do I like it? You know, I can't answer that until I know about that quarterback situation. And I don't think it's good in Atlanta right now. So,
Ben.
Yeah, I can't stand it. I mean, Kevin Stefanski is one of those type of guys, or he's living off what he used to be, not what he is. And I understand what he was for Cleveland, but if you are in that locker room right now, you got guys like Jesse Bates and guys like, you know, Kyle Pitts and those guys who are veterans on that team, you know, Matthews and those guys. They want to see what type of coach he is. I understand he's probably gonna micromanage and kind of, you know, let his assistants go out there and do it. But people saw it is on your resume that you had a fake playbook or a fake play call sheet on and that you gave to your starting quarterback. And when asked, you was like, it was the wrong one. You make fake wristbands in the NFL?
Right.
Anthony Richardson, lie to me. No, say, I don't know who did that. Throw it on the staff or something. And I just think the thing about it is, you know, when you start talking about recycling coaches, right? Kevin Stefanski is the reason why Baker Mayfield got out of there. He got Baker Mayfield out. The guy that took it to the playoffs, gone. And then I don't consider him a quarterback whisperer or anything like that. But I want to see do the Falcons respect him as a man first, then a coach, or do they just respect your position? Because if they just respect your position, I don't know how much better he can make the Falcons. I'm not saying my Falcons are world beaters. I mean, we help other teams get in the playoffs and don't go to the playoffs. But I just think the thing about Stefanski, because it's not just Stefanski, it's Stefanski and Matt Ryan. They together. And to me, that's an even scarier thing because Matt Ryan has never done anything outside of going to booth. He's never coached. He's never been in the front office. And I get it. Arthur Blank, he had a great relationship with with Matt Ryan, but great relationships don't win football games. Being a nice dude, don't win football games. So I mean, I'm very, very much a pessimist when it comes to the head coach of the Falcons because I have no reason to be an optimist. None. 0%. I don't care who comes through that door. But if he can shift the culture and dare I say, I don't know, beat the Panthers, we might have something to talk about because right now the Falcons, Tyler Shuck, to me, is much better than Michael Penix right now. Why? Because he's healthy, because he drinks milk, because his bones ain't real easily broken. I hope Michael Penix is better than what I thought, but I do agree with you, Marv. It's gonna be who the quarterback's gonna be, but it's gonna be what is if the same man that left Cleveland is coming to Atlanta, that's not good. But if a change man is leaving Cleveland to come to Atlanta, hey, we might have something to talk about because we talk about the NFC South, man. And the only difference in the NFC South and the AFC South is there isn't a difference. None of those teams are the media darlings in the National Football League. It is anybody's division to win. Hopefully Stefanski can bring a winning mentality because he sure ain't bringing no winning coach coming from Cleveland. But who am I to talk? I'm a Falcons fan. We ain't got no winning coach there. We just got a real nice dome, but really, really cheap concessions.
Yeah. Tommy?
If I was Michael Penix, I'd be very, very worried about my future. Kevin Stefanski was at Cleveland for what, 5-6 years? And he started the 2025 season with the quarterback mess that he had. And
right.
He didn't have it straightened out by then. He didn't have a veteran quarterback running the team. And then on top of that, he had some petty gripe with the general manager for picking Shedeur Sanders. And he fails to develop either one of the two rookie quarterbacks. He lets a petty gripe of his get in the way of the team's success. Stefanski, I don't get this guy, and I'll go on record right now and say that Shedeur Sanders is going to have a better NFL career than Dylan Gabriel.
Okay, well, here's what I'm going to add to this. Number one, you hope and pray that the second head coaching job is better than the first. You learn from your mistakes. I can tell you many times the second time's turned out better than the first. I don't know if that'll be the case here. And yes, I don't know how Shedeur Sanders is going to do up in, obviously, Cleveland with Todd Monken, TBD. But it'll certainly be an interesting storyline to watch. And since we had three people from Atlanta that are close to situations, good to get their viewpoints as well. All right, the 49ers haven't won a Super Bowl since 1995. Jeremy, can you believe it's been that long since the Niners haven't won a Super Bowl?
Yeah, you go 1 year later, and it's been almost as long for the Cowboys, but that's another story. Neither one of them have won a Super Bowl since the 90s. Heck, the Browns haven't been to an AFC championship since 91. We can keep going if you want, but
no,
it's not a good thing to see. And I said it as soon as Kyle Shanahan was the OC of that Super Bowl that the Falcons were in when they lost to the Patriots, when he quit running the ball in the second half. And every time he gets there, he does the same thing with San Francisco. I call him Kyle Scamaham. He's scamming a check.
Candy?
One of the things we've talked about is that defense wins championships, but it's not just defense. It's defense and good quarterback play. That's really what we've seen in Seattle with Sam Darnold, him winning the championship. So it's defense and quarterback. And those are the two things you need to have in order to win. They just haven't had the right combination yet since the last one was Steve Young.
Mel.
Scott, you got to love Candy. She understands football. I mean, you look at the two teams that were in the Super Bowl. They had two defensive coaches that were the head coaches. All the pundits say, "Oh, you need to get an offensive guy. You need to get an offensive coordinator to be the head coach. You need to get an offensive guy." Well, defenses win championships. Yeah, chicks dig the long ball. I understand that, but when it comes down to it, you have to be able to stop somebody. My brother was talking about, we were talking about the game, and he said, "Man, Dan Campbell needs to learn something from the coach for man, I can't even think. Who just played in the Super Bowl? Help me. Seattle. So he needs to learn from Mike McDonald about kicking field goals. Points are they need and taking those points." I said, "Yeah, but he because he's a defensive coach, he's going to rely on his defense. He knows what his defense is capable of doing. Dan Campbell, he's not a defensive coach. He's not and the Detroit's defense is nothing like Seattle's defense. When you know your defense is going to stop teams and not allow them to put points on the board, then you have the luxury to be able to take those little 3 points. When you don't know what your defense is going to give up, you have to try to get as many points as you possibly can every time you have the football." So, Candy, kudos to you. Scott, good job. You picked a good one there, somebody that understands the game of football.
Thanks,
Mel. Appreciate it. All right, go ahead, Martin. Appreciate it. Mel.
Yeah, I mean, I guess really my thoughts just on this game. You see today in the NFL, everybody's going for the Sean McVay. Everybody wants the new age offensive dude, the guru, and all that. But what does it come down to, man? This thing came down to defense and running the ball, and that's what I feel like. That's what it always comes down to with any team we're talking about. If you don't have a defense and you can't run the ball, I mean, it's gonna be hard for you to be successful. You had referenced. The Niners, when they've been good, they played great defense and they could run the ball, and that's with multiple quarterbacks, during their time. But with Seattle, man, it was straight up old school football, 3 yards cloud of dust, nothing fancy, nothing out of the ordinary, man. It was physical football. And they won at the line of scrimmage, and that was the difference. They offensively they applied the pressure in the run game, and defensively, I mean, they got after that quarterback, man. So, it was a good one for sure.
Ben,
I mean, this comes down to being creatures of habit. I mean, the last time the Seattle Seahawks was in the Super Bowl, right? The reason why they didn't win was because of common sense. It wasn't because of defense. I mean, when they played New England, New England had time, but they started going back and forth. And when you talk about the 49ers win the Super Bowl and the Harbaugh Super Bowl if they just run the football with Colin Kaepernick 4 times. Why did they try to throw it? He literally got him down there running the football. That the play before they called a timeout, if he runs the RPO, he walks in the end zone. But arrogance loses games. And I'm sorry, if Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't know, can hit Emmanuel Sanders, they win the game. It is 4th and 6. If it is 4th and goal with 6 yards to go, and instead of trying to go for it, they take the ball out of Brock Purdy's hands and they kick the field goal. Did anybody think that Kansas City wasn't going to go down the field and win the game, Kyle Shanahan? And when it comes to Seattle, Mike McDonald knew this. You see that guy right there? Yeah, he's 23 years old. He's been in the league 2 years. He was an MVP candidate, but guess what? You know what they did? They looked at who's a better quarterback out of Drake May and Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes. And what happened to him 2 years ago? What happened to him in the Super Bowl? If your front 5 can't block my front 4, you can't beat us. You cannot beat us if we can't block him. So for Mike McDonald, he said, look, my front 4, I know what they can do. Will Campbell coming out of LSU, what did they say about him? He got short arms. People like that don't matter. Look again. If you don't think a short arm left tackle don't matter in the NFL, you better look again. Will Campbell. I mean, I'm not trying to jump on the young man. I mean, I know he's gonna come back. But when you just get rid of all the fluff and you just play football, all that cute stuff out the window. Hey, I mean, Malcolm. I want to say Malcolm Smith was the MVP. When the Legion of Boom won in 2013, it wasn't Richard Sherman, it wasn't Cam Chancellor, right? It wasn't Earl Thomas, it was Malcolm Smith. So, I would still get an offensive coach. You just got to play complementary. Either you got to play complementary defense, or just stifling defense. This Seattle defense looked like 2002 Tampa. They look like 2000 Baltimore. They look like 2015. Denver. They just had one for the ages. And like I said, they picked their best game. They picked the best night. They had their best game, but Drake May didn't. But as far as the San Francisco 49ers, I don't know what it is, but they've had way too much talent. Fred Warner, George Kittle,
Yeah, I agree.
like Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey, and you can't win. Nick Bosa. So sometimes it just ain't meant to be. It just ain't meant to be.
That's funny you mentioned that. Also, I should put this stat while it's fresh in my mind. On Saturday on Inside the Pigskin, we talk about number one team in the NFC has won Super Bowl, I think since 2017. Well, guess what? Seattle snapped that streak by winning on Sunday night. So that streak has gone down by the wayside. Tom, you have the last word on this topic.
Yeah, the 49ers were in the Super Bowl the 2019 season. They lost to the Chiefs and Mahomes. They were in the Super Bowl in the 2024 season. They lost to the Chiefs and Mahomes. I think a lot of teams would take that record. Miami, how long since they've been to a Super Bowl? Minnesota, how long for them? Cowboys, how long for them? Even the Steelers. So, and it's not just the two Super Bowls that they made it. They're in contention for the division title, and they're in the playoffs the other years. So I don't think the 49ers deserve to have any shots taken at them. The other thing that's interesting about how the Super Bowl played out this year is Mike Macdonald, the Seattle head coach, was the defensive coordinator at Michigan in 2021. And then I think in 2021, 22, and 23, Michigan only lost one regular season game. And it was against Michigan State when Kenneth Walker scored 5 touchdowns and with 197 yards rushing. So if you fast forward a few years and Kenneth Walker is helping McDonald win a Super Bowl title. And then one more interesting thing about the Super Bowl, when they presented the trophy to the Seahawks, the broadcast presenting the trophy was Maria Taylor.
Right.
Maria Taylor and Mike Macdonald went to the same high school in Georgia.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm glad you brought that up. Thanks for bringing it up.
At the same time.
That's unbelievable. Thanks for bringing it up, Tom. I was thinking about it. I didn't know if I'd have time to do it, but you took care of it for me. Thanks, Tom. So real 2 classmates would end up having the trophy exchange. First African-American woman to have that privilege to do it. And I have a kid like him. Can you imagine what kind of a surreal moment it was for them? Great stuff, Tommy. Thanks for bringing it up. That's a better moment than what took place in Miami, though, when Darren Waller says the Miami Dolphins owner Stephen Ross interrupted the exit interview to fire Mike Macdonald. I was at the scene of the crime. All right, rapid fire on this one, Jeremy. Probably not the scene of the crime you want to be on, but nevertheless, that's how Waller saw McDaniel get the boot.
Well, yeah, it was funny. We heard that happened at the exit interview, and now it's confirmed by a player.
Right.
He walked in, he goes, they probably said something like, so what's your plan at QB? Well, Tua's been doing pretty good when he's on the field. You're fired.
Go figure. Candy?
Yeah, I mean, a fact of the player, witness part of that's just not right. I mean, don't get me wrong, Mike McDaniels deserved to be let go. Timing and message are everything. And let's face it, in this league, what goes around comes around a lot of times, and people get recycled. So you want to be very careful of when and how you're delivering messages.
Yeah, I think that was one of Stephen Ross's better moves for sure. Mel?
I mean, that's an interesting tidbit that he got fired during the exit interview. I think Mike McDaniel, they let him hang around for a couple of days before they made that decision. Losing your job is never funny, and it's never fun, and I guess there's never really an ideal situation for it to happen. I remember when I got let go by the Rams, And Marvin remembers this. They used to put a little Ben probably, Ben didn't happen to Ben. He was big time, high
Yeah,
draft pick.
my story too.
Later in your career. But you'd have a note hanging from your locker, and usually your locker's already cleared out, so you don't even have the opportunity to get dressed to go. That's how you know you're getting cut. You come to the practice facility, your stuff is gone, and there's a little note up there. Go see coach or whatever, and they give you your walking papers. Well, the day of the cut down, I didn't have a note there. I'm really, and so I'm waiting around to put my stuff on. My stuff is still in my locker, so I'm waiting around like, dang, I know. Okay, maybe 15 minutes go by. I go ahead and get dressed. I'm walking to meetings, and Norv Turner. I passed Norv Turner. We're walking. We pass each other, and then we pass each other. And he turns around. Hey, Mel. Hey, coach needs to see you. Because I'm getting ready to hit. I'm heading to practice. Okay, coach needs to talk to you. And that's how I found out. I didn't get the note. Normally, you get the little note and your stuff is gone. But there's never a convenient way to get, to lose your job. Yeah, it would have been nice if it wasn't in front of a player. I don't know if it exactly happened like that. I can't see the guy being that cruel and that unprofessional and just saying, hey, get on out of here while he was doing an exit interview. But who knows? Maybe he just was fed up with him and he did do it that way. But,
it's the Miami Dolphins. Come on, man. Give them. It's toxic over there, Mel. It really is. I haven't worked with them.
Maybe he did do that. I don't know, but the
it's
the
Miami Dolphins. I know
He's
it's a cruel world, but
too.
we're talking the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number none. Oh, well, for all you
maybe he did.
Maybe
all
right,
did.
we'll leave it at that. Okay, Marvin.
Man, it's a cold world. Listen, Stephen Rawson had enough. That's what that means. He had enough. And for him to walk into that meeting, interrupt the meeting, to let the dude know he's fired, that's cold. You don't do that to the head coach. You sit him down in your office and or the GM, when you go through his agent, you don't do that in front of a player. So that just tells you, man, he was fed up. He didn't had enough. And that's what it comes down to. Just no emotion, no love. Take your little buyout, make your or whatever he's gonna get, and get on. But yeah, that's cold, man.
Okay, Ben.
Yeah, Stephen Ross. He don't have the best. He do not got the best track record in the National Football League, especially from players that came through there talking about how he is. They was like, look, man, we know you the owner, but it ain't like you good at what you do. You just own. And if that is how he done it, you don't got to do that. Like, if you're gonna get rid of him, get rid of him. And Mel, when I was with the Bucks, I'm there. I was all hurt during training camp or whatever. I make the team or whatever. And John Gruden was the head coach. We play Atlanta at home, second game of the year. And it's I go watch the film on Monday. And on Tuesday, the off day, I'm driving around and my brother tell me, man, you just got cut. Man, what you talking about? Just got cut. I just talk about. I drive back home. ESPN bottom line. I'm like, Dan Troop got cut. I'm like, what Dan Troop you talking about? And they let me go. And the crazy part about that is, I'm thinking that John, gonna call me and say, hey, man, nothing. I'm talking about crickets. I'm talking about. Then I go to the Raiders. And Lane Kiffin is the head coach. I don't even know. It took me like 10 minutes to realize he was a head coach. Because I already know. I know Money Kiffin. I know his dad. I don't know. I said, who's Lane? And he's looking at me. I'm looking at him. And then, I make the team. And then I get hurt. Then I done learned the game, Mom. So when the trainer come to me and say, hey, man, and we got a game and we could you go? Nah. I said, nah, like 11 weeks in a row. Then finally, Tom Cable, the head coach, he said, I guess he started walking around the facility like, he was like, hey, man, tell me to cut the ball. And he's like, man, yeah, you done. Yeah, you done. So I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? So I parlayed that thing for about I was in Oakland longer than Lane. I was in Oakland longer than Lane.
I don't know what
because
noise
they're trying to get you on film. As soon as they got you on film, you're going to get cut.
Yeah.
No. I never went out there. And I'm in the team photo though. So when my kids be like, Daddy, did you actually get out there? Nope, but I'm in the team photo though. 2008. Now I'm in high school.
I didn't know we had any noise in the background. I wanted to hear what Ben had to say. Hopefully, it's no longer there. Okay, great stuff. Okay, Tommy, you have the last word on this.
Yeah, well, it speaks to the dysfunction of the Miami Dolphins. They had a terrible season, and it took it till then to come to a head. They should have known a long time ago which direction they were going. Stephen Ross is from Michigan, so what do you expect from a Michigan guy?
Now there you go. I was waiting for that one. Okay, that's a shot from Danny. Okay, all right. Uh, that's all you have to say, Tom. Because if you say any more, then it would ruin the quality of the message that you normally send. Well, we talked about this story before, and we're going to talk about it again. He's back. Desmond Watson is back in the United Football League to get a second chance. He's 6'6", 464 pounds. He's obviously the former Florida Gator. Will get an opportunity to make his comeback for the DC Defenders. He actually logged a higher vertical leap than Johnny Brown at 25. I think 25, is it 25 feet or 25? I don't know what it is, versus 24.5. Go ahead, Jeremy, pick up the story from there.
Well, Desmond Watson returning to the football field is like somebody dropping a freight train on it. The guy's a one-man physics lesson. Offensive linemen rethink their life choices trying to stop him. Runners don't run around him. They try to survive him. I mean, he's that big, a 464-pound wrecking crew from Florida.
He is. Okay, Candy.
Yeah, I mean, he completed 36 bench press reps, which would have been the top mark at the combine, and he ran a 40-yard dash in 5.95 seconds, in addition to recording a vertical jump of 25 inches. He impressed at his pro day. He is big, and he is heavy, and he is a wrecking ball. I wouldn't want to be lining up against him.
No, but I'm glad the kid getting another chance anyway. The Football League, that's what makes these leagues a good league. Mel?
Yeah, I think it's great for him. Did he run that? They had a combine for the NFL, and he did those numbers there. Yes. It sounds like he's in shape a little bit. I don't know what he ran at his pro day, but the throw 225 up 35 times. I mean, I don't know how big you are. That's impressive. I know, when we did it, I did it 28 times, but so another that's impressive. I mean, I'm happy for the kid. He gets an opportunity to continue to live his dream, and who knows, maybe he'll cut a little bit more weight if that's what they're looking for him to do. Because running around with that kind of weight, 460 pounds, man, that's a lot of weight. 400 pounds, whatever, that's a lot of weight. That's a lot of wear and tear on your heart, wear and tear on your joints. I mean, I just like to see him active because, God forbid if he wasn't active, who knows what he'd balloon up to, 500, 600, I don't know. But I'm happy for him that he's getting an opportunity to pursue his dream.
Yeah, that's what leagues like the United Football League are there for. Give him another chance to try to get it right. He'll have 10 games to figure it out, and hopefully he re-lands someplace else. Marvin?
Yeah, for me, it's just a safety health issue. Big guy like that. Listen, when I played in the league, I remember when Corey Stringer passed away. That was horrible. Big guy in the sun. And, they just want to make sure this guy can go out there and compete at a level that's going to make sense for him health-wise and get his weight down. That was really a lot of the conversation, I think. Is he too big to play? I don't think so. I think this guy's been playing big his whole life, to be honest with you. I think his body's probably accustomed to that, and he can get in shape for his size, But, I just want him to be healthy. I have no doubt that he could probably be dominant or at least have impact, and we'll see what happens.
Healthy and 450, they don't go together.
Yeah, I agree with you. So it doesn't feel right. Go ahead, Jeremy.
But when he was in college, his junior year, he registered 540 on the scales. He has lost weight.
Okay. Well, he still has some work to do, but he's in the United Football League. Hopefully get some of that back. All right. Who was I with? Yeah. All right. Sure. Who's next? Is it Ben?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm a big fan of Big Dez, being a former Florida Gator myself. I think the thing about Big Dez is, and I know he's heard this a lot, man, it's got to be important to you to not just get your weight down, but keep your weight down. Because the thing about it is, most guys don't get opportunities that are in great shape, that can run, that can jump, that they, once they cut from anything, that's it. And they stay in the weight room. They stay eating right. They stay getting their rest, and they never hit a phone ring again. Big Dads will not be able to look back on his career and say, I did not get every opportunity. The University of Florida gave him an opportunity. He lost all the weight, and they told him, look, this is going to be a part of your life for the rest of your life. Football or not, it's going to be a part of your life. And I think for Big Dads, it's going to be, man, forget football, man. How long do you want to live? And how do you want to live, youngin? So I'm rooting for Big Dads, right? Big Dads got to, listen, Big Dads wore number 21. I don't know if them numbers were small or he was just real big, but it's just the University of Florida gave you an opportunity. Then the Tampa Bay Bucks get you as a free agent, cut you and bring you back. And I don't think they were doing it for no publicity stunt. Tampa don't need no publicity. Florida don't need no publicity. But at this point, somebody is saying, hey, man, I'm going to take a chance on this young man.
Right.
I'm gonna give him an opportunity. And, yeah, I'm rooting for him as well. I mean, football is one of those games where you play it as long as you can. But I think for dads, it's going to be, how do you want this thing to be? How do you want this thing to end up? Because people watching you to see how well you play, but they watching you to see, hey, man, got to get your lifestyle right. And hopefully he will. I mean, this is coming from a non-judgmental place. I'm not judging Big Dads at all. Like you mentioned, man, Big Dad's probably been big his whole life. Like, hey, man, he's been Big Dads. He's like, man, your real name is Desmond? Yeah. But, it's just Big Dads. It's all good. It's just, so, yeah, I'm rooting for him, man. And like I say, most guys don't get an opportunity past high school. He's got to go to Florida, Tampa, twice. Now he's in the 90 Football League. So hopefully, man, he'll make the best of it.
Tommy.
Yeah, the guy's cursed with a weight problem. I feel sorry for him. I don't think he's ever going to be a player. It makes me think of a guy from San Diego State in the 70s. His name was Tuffy Avi, 6'8", 400-pound Samoan when Don Coryell was there. And Coryell couldn't get him to lose any weight. They couldn't even weigh him on their scale at the athletic department. They had to take him to some place where they weighed
take him to the post office.
Yeah. And
no, I'm serious. That's what they used to do at UCLA.
Yeah, and he couldn't play because he couldn't lose the weight. But the one thing he did contribute to a great San Diego State tradition. He would get dressed up like a Samoan warrior and come out on the field and throw a flaming
spear
into the turf, and the crowd would go wild. And one of the days he did that, they played Florida State and Bobby Bowden, and they routed Florida State. And then Bobby Bowden, I wrote a story about this once. Bobby Bowden went back to Florida State and said, "We're gonna steal that for our team." And that's what Florida State does with the Seminole, riding a horse out on the field and throwing a flaming spear into it. But Tuffy Avi, he was 6'8", 400 pounds. A lot of Samoans have weight problems. He died at 39 from a heart attack.
Okay. Well, all I can say for Desmond, I wish him well. It's a story that I've been monitoring for a long time. I'm glad he's going to have a chance to get it figured out in the United Football League, and we'll see where it leads in the pros. That's why I think the league's going to start playing, I believe, is it March 27th, I think. So we got about another 4 to 5 weeks before they get going. All right, now this is a rapid-fire question, and that's it. Cy Simpson turned down $6.5 million to enter the draft. The Alabama quarterback is going pro. Really quickly, Jeremy, is he ready to go pro?
I don't think he is. I think he still needs work. This was the first time you saw him play for any length of time with Alabama, and I just think he needed another year in college. But hey, if he wants to turn down the 6.5 and go pro, you can't knock him for it. I just hope nobody grabbed him in the first round and expect him to start right away and be good.
Okay, that's fair enough. Candy?
I would say no. In 2022, he only was in 4 games. 2023, 6. 24, 6. 25 was when he first had 15 games underneath his belt. I think he needs another full season.
Mel?
Yeah, I mean, he would get paid to stay in college. I think he would have benefited from another year in college. I mean, more snaps, more reps, more opportunities to look at defenses, learn the nuances of offense, learn the nuances of coverages. That never hurts because they're not teaching that stuff in the NFL. They're not teaching you nothing. You got to come in ready to play. If you're not ready to play, they're shipping you out of there. So I mean, if he wants to learn something, he's going to have to learn it in college because the NFL is no longer in the coaching teaching business, especially at that position.
Marvin.
Yeah, if I'm correct, I think the money came from a different school other than Alabama, and I think
You're right. It did.
A lot of his issue was, he felt a certain loyalty to Alabama as well. I believe I read that or saw that. That was part of his issue.
You're right.
So, listen, I can appreciate an old school mentality. A kid feels loyal to a school, but this is a guy who doesn't have a ton of starts, in my opinion. And I think the record shows that once you have a certain amount of starts, you're more prepared for the NFL. He should have taken that money and got them starts and got better at his craft and had one more year to get ready for the NFL. Because once you get in the NFL, it's no turning back. You can't go back to college and get those. You can't do that. So, yeah, man.
They're trying.
I know.
That basketball player tried.
Yeah.
But no, I think tough call for the kid. I would have gone back to school if I were him.
This has got Anthony Richardson written all over it. I can tell you right now. That's
he's another one of Ben's boys. Yeah.
Right. Come out way too early. That's what happens. All right, Ben.
Oh, but he didn't have the talent of Anthony Richardson. He's not going to go in the top 10 or 5 or wherever Anthony Richardson went.
That's not the point. He should have stayed in school. He should have stayed in school, Mel. And I agree. I mean, it does have Anthony. If you come out way too soon and you could get the money, you take it. But this kid felt that he didn't want to do it. Anthony Richardson, obviously, the money was in the NFL and he came out earlier. It's a different animal altogether. Okay, who's left? Ben, on this one?
Yeah, and speaking of a different animal, I mean, it's only some of the people know what it's like to be the starting quarterback for Alabama. You don't get to hide in Alabama. You not just get to walk around like everything is good. And when you losing to Oklahoma, when you not making the SEC championship, because I think they won it in 2023. Ty Simpson is a good quarterback. He's not a great one by no stretch of the imagination. And unfortunately for him, they judge you off the position you play and who played your position, where you played. They're like, he don't look like Bryce Young to me. He don't look like Jalen Hurts to me. I'm like, no. He don't look like Tua. No, he don't look like none of those guys. And I don't. For everybody thinking that it's all about the money, Ty Simpson was like, not really. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take the money, but I'd rather just go pro and deal with what comes with it. Because I don't. It's a high level of scrutiny being a high profile athlete in some of these schools. And Ty Simpson was like, well, it's probably going to be getting money. The school that was probably giving him more money probably ain't the school he wanted to go to. Like, yeah, we'll give you the money, but you can help boost our reputation and resume, but you ain't going to really boost your own. But, yeah, I don't really – but I still don't really understand why he's going to the pros when just say you take the money and you don't get drafted. You got plenty of cheese. There are worse things to start your life with millions in the bank, with people like, and Travis Hunter, I love you. But don't say things like I was broke in college making $500,000 a month. Travis,
Preach.
I love you, Trav. I love you. But if $500K a month is broke, sign me up for that. So I got to make $500K. I'm just saying, he's a young man. I love you, Trav. You know what I'm saying? Your family live in Savannah, but just run it by your publicist before you press send. That's all I'm saying. Just run it by them and say, let me see. $500,000 is broke. No, broke is broke. Broke is broke. In 2026 and 5, broke is broke. Because I mean, when I be going to the grocery store, I'm like, hey man, did y'all just get these chickens like from the hen house? Or did they just came out the God goodness, man. I'm just trying to get a carton of eggs, some milk. I got to call my financial advisor and say, man, do you approve this? Do you approve this before I swipe? But yeah, but Ty, hey man, you're gonna probably go to the Jets, young man. I'm telling you, you're gonna end up with the Jets or the Browns and be like, the grass is only green during the summertime, son. It ain't green right now. The only green grass in America is at the White House. That's it. Everybody else I don't know what color it is.
Great stuff, man. That was pretty good. Tommy, follow that one.
Hey, as a college kid, I remember walking across campus once and a $20 bill blew by right in front of me and I stepped on it and I thought I was all set for the weekend. I had 20 bucks in my wallet. Hey, Ty Simpson, he might be the first Alabama guy I've ever rooted for and wanted to see him do well. And it's because he didn't go to another school just for the money. I guess they have some kind of tradition at Alabama where they put your name in a brick or something on a wall or whatever. I could have that wrong. And for him, that was enough. He didn't want to go to another school after earning that what he considered a prestigious honor. So I have a lot of respect for them for that reason, that he didn't go to another school. I don't understand why he didn't come back for another year. Whatever he was going to make, even if it was less than other schools, it was going to be plenty. And like it's been said already on here, he needs more seasoning.
Okay. Few more topics to go. Only one stadium that Josh Allen had won at, it was Levi Stadium, unfortunately, which was the host of the Super Bowl, but didn't get the opportunity. So you're going to have to win it someplace during the regular season. Some thoughts, Jeremy, about the stadium that Josh Allen didn't get to that many of us thought he would get to, and he's going to have to wait for the regular season because it wasn't meant to be at Levi Stadium in the Super Bowl.
You want to get there, you got to win in the playoffs. He wasn't able to do that this year. That's all it boils down to. You can say whatever you want. Josh Allen is a great QB. They're only as good as the team around him. There was some bad play calling in that play. There was some horrible defense in that game. But ultimately, he didn't have Joe Burrow. He didn't have Lamar Jackson. And he didn't have Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. He has no excuses.
Candy?
You play long enough, hopefully you get a chance to win in all the different stadiums. He doesn't play there very often. And yes, did he make it there this year? No. Partially on him, he had a bad game. Also on his defense. And like I said, when you come down to the playoffs, it's about mistake-free football, and they just weren't mistake-free.
Mel?
Man, Marvin and Ben have talked about it, and they know about it. It's hard to win in the NFL. And those guys on the other side of the ball, across the other side of the field, they're getting paid. Their coaches are getting paid. They're going to the window on Monday or Wednesday. We went to the window. You guys probably didn't go to the window. You guys probably got direct deposit. We had those things called checks. You guys probably don't even know about them. To get a check, and then we had to get in our car and drive to the bank and deposit it. You guys got direct deposit. But anyway, those guys are getting paid. So it's hard to win, and it's not about it's more than just Josh. I mean, he can only do so much. I mean, there's 21 other guys that he has to that have participate in this as well. A team is a team. A team is not one person. Josh Allen is one person, and Josh Allen can only do what Josh Allen can do. And sometimes when he tries to do more than what he probably should, he gets himself in trouble. He tries to put the team on his back. He gets himself in trouble because he gets a little careless with the football. But he'll get his opportunity to win. I mean, he's going to be around for a little while. He's still a young guy, so he'll get his opportunity. Now, it may not be the Super Bowl again in Levi Stadium, but he'll get an opportunity to win a game there.
Marvin?
Listen, if he was going to do it, this was the year. No Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow, no Pat Mahomes in the playoffs. There was opportunity there for him to come out the AFC and end up in San Francisco. And it was tough, man. And he realizes that, and they realize that. And this was definitely a blown opportunity. With that said, he's a young veteran quarterback, MVP. That organization, I believe, is committed to him and his growth. And I think at some point he will definitely hold up a trophy. I think he's good enough, and I think his organization is committed to him. So yeah, but this was the year to do it in AFC, because next year you get all those quarterbacks back, and it's it's murderous.
Yeah, wasn't meant to be this year at Levi Stadium for him, that's for sure. Ben?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this was the year to do it. The thing about Josh Allen is a media darling. Josh Allen is one of the faces of the league. Josh Allen has created something that's hard to do. He's created expectations for himself and his team outside of Buffalo. And when he doesn't get it done, I don't think he gets enough scrutiny, but he's going to get highly scrutinized because he doesn't lack anything. Josh Allen has the most rushing touchdowns for a quarterback in NFL history right now. He has more than Steve Young. He has more than Cam Newton. He has more than Michael Vick. He has more than Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts. Here's gonna be Josh Allen's problem. Josh Allen is looked at by his team or his or decision makers like Aaron Rodgers was all those years in Green Bay. They're not giving him number one receiver. You're not gonna win like that. He's a good enough player to get you there. But you saw what just happened to Drake May, right? You got to have a guy that can take it off the top. He got an all-pro running back and Cook. He got that, right? He got a defense. But, and I know that Joe Brady just got there, but the thing about it is this. The greats won it all. Boomer Esiason has an MVP. Boomer Esiason hasn't been a first-team All-Pro. I am not saying Josh Allen is Boomer Esiason. I'm just saying he got an MVP. And sometimes, right, MVPs means I was the best player in football that year. I mean, Matthew Stafford just won MVP. What is he, 37, 38? So quarterbacking is the new MVP award anyway. They ain't even looking at nobody else because if you're looking at the right way, Myles Garrett was the MVP. But that's another, like I said, another conversation for another day. In my opinion, Josh Allen is about as good as a football player could be. But we don't judge you off a regular season award, and we sure don't judge you off of NFL honors awards. We judge you off winning it all. If the only reason why Eli Manning is considered a Hall of Famer, the only reason he is even, well, two reasons. He's a Manning. But the second reason is because he won Super Dupers. Because his regular seasons were, woo.
It's not just because he won Super Bowls, it's who he beat.
What is his name? Jim Lampert or whatever name. He said, it's not how many fights you had, it's who you fought. Well, here's the thing about Josh Allen. Every time he fights somebody that can swing back, he get knocked out. Every time. So I think he's going to get him one, but I don't want to get one by default. I don't want to win when everybody else is gone. You know, the Detroit Pistons, I love Michael Jordan, but by the time he beat them, they was old. Lambert and those guys, that guy, no. I'm just saying, love Mike. And Mike finally beat them Pistons, but Dumas and Lambert and Isaiah, they were old. They were old by then. Just saying.
And don't forget
the Lakers, we still claim that trophy in the bubble.
Yeah, the Lakers claim that. The Lakers claim the trophy in the bubble. You know, because guess what, Mel? It might have been the hardest one to win. Yeah. So Dwight Howard and different guys get to say, man, I'm a champion. Yeah, it's the bubble. No fans around. Nobody around, and you won it. If you're not gonna count the bubble championship, you shouldn't have played it. You shouldn't have played it. And so yeah. I mean,
we count it. We hang that banner up in the rafter proudly. We count it.
LeBron James. Just saying.
Well, they count. Well, wait. Let's not get off track. The Lakers counted the NBA Cup for crying out loud. They'll count any banner that comes their way. Forget
they just put a pennant up for that or something like that. We don't count that.
That's how you want to go there.
Let me tell you something.
Don't get Jeremy excited about. Don't get Jeremy excited about the Pistons.
I'll take a pin.
Don't forget who Jordan had to add to that team to win more championships, and that was Dennis
we know
Rodman.
about Dennis Rodman. Yeah, I know. All right, let's don't get him excited there. Right, that's all. But he's right. I got to give him his due. They needed Dennis Rodman, that's for sure, and all his antics. Okay, Tommy, you have the last word. Aren't you lucky you have the last word on a lot of these?
Hey, we make too much about the Super Bowl. I was scrolling through Twitter the other day, and there was this post from the old NFL Network days when John Facenda, the voice of God, would narrate the films. And it was like the early 80s. And they were talking about who was the greatest NFL quarterback up until then. And they had an autogram for all the titles he won with the Cleveland Browns. But they said he didn't call his plays. Paul Brown did. They had Fran Tarkenton on there. Boy, he had thrown for more yards than anybody else. Incredible plays with him scrambling around. But he lost a couple Super Bowls. They had Roger Staubach on there. And Staubach won a Super Bowl, and they beat the Dolphins, but he also lost to the Steelers twice in the Super Bowl. If Roger Staubach was playing today, people would be sniping at him that he can't beat the Steelers. And then they had Johnny Unitas on there, and Johnny Unitas never won a Super Bowl. Johnny Unitas had the record forever, 47 straight games with a touchdown pass. And he was throwing passes when there was no rules against brutalizing the quarterback or attacking the wide receiver. And he still had a streak for 47 straight games that stood for decades until Drew Brees broke it with a very far relaxed rules. So Josh Allen is still a young guy. Maybe it'll break for him with the Super Bowl. Who knew that it was going to break for Seattle and Sam Darnold this year? You just don't know how things are going to break. But Josh Allen has already proven himself to be a great quarterback with or without the Super Bowl.
Okay, a couple more things I want to get to. The longest active playoff drought actually now goes Miami is since 2000. You have the Raiders, obviously, are at, I think, 2002 and counting. And Chicago, actually, their drought came to an end by beating Green Bay. The Jets are 2010. And, of course, we all know that the Bears engineered a comeback of plus 8 points when they ended up winning 18 points against Green Bay. They're 1-37. Not that Candy wanted to hear that. But so, all right, let's just talk, Candy, really quickly about the droughts here. The Bears are off the list, but yeah, Miami, the Raiders, and the Jets left. Which one of these gets off the schneid? This is rapid fire. I have not one other topic I want to get to, then we go to parting shots.
None of the above. I mean, I don't know. Like, you're talking three bad teams that I don't see. I mean, it depends on quarterback. And, if Miami moves on from Tua, who do they go to? The Jets, I don't see them anytime soon. And then you said, who else? You said the Jets, Miami.
What is the Jets, Miami?
The Raiders.
Oh, the Raiders.
Candy. Good evening, Jen Cobb. Thanks for being in, Jen. Always great to see you pop in when you get in. Love the show. We love having you in here. I'm glad you're thinking about us. God bless, Jen. Appreciate it.
I guess maybe the Raiders if I'm gonna pick a team out of those three.
Okay, Jeremy, quick.
Okay, New York Jets, Atlanta Falcons, Indianapolis Colts, New Orleans Saints, Arizona Cardinals, Las Vegas Raiders, and Tennessee Titans. That's the ones that have had the longest playoff drought. But the longest one is the Jets since 2010, 15 years. Atlanta, 8 years. Indianapolis, 5 seasons. Same with New Orleans. I don't see New Orleans getting back soon, but if they re-sign Danny Dimes and he's healthy and he plays like he did at the beginning of the season, Indiana Colts have a shot with that team. Arizona, we don't know what you got in Mike LaFleur. So, and Las Vegas Raiders, you don't know what you're going to have with them because they need O-line help as well as weapons, as well as a quarterback. And then the Tennessee Titans, who knows?
All right, but I said rapid fire, Jeremy, on the three.
He said Dolphins, Raiders, or Jets. Which of the three? Which team is going to get to the playoffs first? Out of
those three. Huh?
I don't think any of them's getting there anytime soon when you name those.
Okay, that's fair enough. I'll accept that from you. I'll accept that for you. They're all bad. Okay, go ahead, Mel.
Jeremy, you should run for Congress. That was one heck of a filibuster. Out of those three, because none of them have a quarterback, and we assume that the Raiders are going to take Mendoza, so you have to go with the Raiders.
I like that logic. Okay, Marvin.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. You got to go with Vegas because you know who their quarterback's going to be, and you just hope that they got a plan for this kid and they have an offense right for this kid, and you hope they protect them. But you'd have to go with Vegas because not the Jets. They trash. In Miami, they right there with the Jets.
Where are you going with this one, Ben?
I'm going with the Dolphins. The Raiders. Okay. Oh my God! Let me tell you something. I mean, the Raiders got they got some really, really nice
rapid fire, Ben.
But Fernando Mendoza is going to go out to the Raiders and go, Hey man, is this Cleveland? No, you in Vegas. I mean, it's just the Jets and the Raiders. It's not that big of a difference, man. I don't know why. I just say the Dolphins. They'll find a way because Tua, you know, I mean, we've seen him play good football before. We've seen this. The last time the Raiders had a good quarterback, what was it? 2002, Rich Gannon, and his receivers was Tim Brown and Jerry Rice. That's, you know what, they were the Indiana Hoosiers of the NFL. That's the oldest starting lineup you ever gonna see in a Super Bowl. So it is the Dolphins. I played for the Raiders and the Jets. Hey man, if the Jets win a playoff game, the economy coming back around, people, we gonna be straight. We gonna be good. Something big is about to happen in the world. So I do hope the Jets do it because the Raiders not doing it. Tom Brady can't help the Raiders. He can't do nothing for them. So it's gonna be the Dolphins.
Okay, Tommy.
I can't pick any of those three. And in fact, the only thing I'll say is we'll be having the same question this time next year.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, at least the Bears won't be on the list because they took care of business. All right, one other topic I want to get to, and we're going to go parting shots. I'm going to refrain from mine for the sake of time purposes, so we make sure that everybody gets theirs out. Al Michaels will return next season to call NFL games for Prime Video. You glad to see it, Jeremy?
Well, yeah, because it's funny when he complains about the low-scoring games they have on Amazon Prime.
So you glad to see it, yes or no?
I said yes, because I love it when he complains about the low scoring.
Okay, gives us his logic. What about you, Candy?
Yes.
Okay. Mel?
I don't even care. I don't even watch the Thursday night games, to be honest with you. And half the reason is because Al Michaels, he's just so bland and boring. I can't even take it.
Okay, fair. What about you, Marvin?
Yeah, listen, I like Al. I do. I like Al. He always lets you know he's looking at football through the eyes of Vegas. I can respect that. But yeah, Al's an old school dude, man. I like him. Happy to see him back.
I have no problem with him either. Okay, Ben?
Yeah, man, I can have one more year of Al Michaels, Mr. Don't Eat Vegetables himself, right? Did he say he don't eat vegetables? He's never ate a vegetable in his life. That's incredible. What do he eat? Like, if he don't eat vegetables, what do you eat? Hey, man. So, another year, once again, we talk about recycled coaches. I mean, when you talk about people like Al Michaels, why is he saying he come back for one more year? He going to come back for one more year for the next 10 years if he can. Hey, man, he wanted the best at it, man. Congratulations to him.
Okay, that's fair enough. Tommy?
Yeah, Al Michaels is a legend. If he wants to come back, I don't have any problem with it. I don't watch Thursday night games either, so I don't know if he's slipping. If he mixes up names like a lot of old broadcasters do when they finally step away. But just on his reputation, I don't have any problem with Al Michaels.
Okay. All right, now we're going to go to parting shots. Jeremy, lead off. We got about a minute and a half to get it going.
Well, looking forward to the scouting combine. I can't wait to see if I can talk to a few of those cats coming out of college. I want to see what they got to say.
Yeah, good enough. Candy?
Now that the NFL season is done, time to enjoy some Olympics. Kudos to the women's hockey team for being undefeated so far and defeating Canada 5-0, as well as the mixed curling team. They got silver today. I'm looking forward to watching them right now. Olympics.
Okay. Mel?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys hear me. Everybody sounds robotic. My dial-up is something's going on with my dial-up right now. Dial-up internet. But my parting shot would have to be. I really didn't have a parting shot. I mean, like Andy said, I'm the Olympics are here. Football season is over. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself for the next few months. I guess I'll find something to do. Probably spend more time with my grandkids, I guess. But looking forward to see what the Lions are going to do this offseason. And looking forward to being with you guys another year.
There we go. Well, we enjoy having you. Of course, I'll tell you one thing. Our Saturday show's a hit, and we do well on Tuesday night, so we have a lot of fun. Marvin?
Yeah, this is always one of the worst times of year. Football's over, and, you got to wait now till August, July for preseason. It's really somewhat depressing, to be honest with you. This is also the time of year where I do go into the NBA. So I'll be definitely focusing a lot more on my Lakers and seeing what's going on with them. But, man, I'm going to miss football, and I'm thankful for Sam Darnold for bringing home a Super Bowl trophy, not just for the Seahawks, but as an alum of that school. All the alums support him. Those are my shots.
Okay. Ben?
This is to all you colleges out there that usually only want to talk about football because that's all you got. The defending national champion Florida Gator basketball team, they're going for the two-peat. I know that a lot of colleges can't really say that, right? I mean, yeah, we talk about Hall of Famers, we talk about Heisman Trophy winners, but let's talk about that hardwood, because if you've ever seen them Florida Gators, they don't want to call us a blue blood because they hate us. So if you're not a Gator, you a hater. But I gotta say this: cereal is soup, hot dog is a sandwich. I don't like big spoons and I don't like little forks. Call it like I see it. Take it as you wish.
Tommy?
With Kenneth Walker winning the Super Bowl MVP, there's only one school that has had a world championship MVP in 4 sports. Kenneth Walker, Michigan State football. Magic Johnson, Michigan State NBA championships. Kirk Gibson, Michigan State World Series MVP. And Duncan Keith, NHL MVP for the Chicago Blackhawks. One school has all 4, Michigan State.
Great stuff. Okay, with that said, Tom, you're not done. Why don't you let everybody know how they get a hold of you?
TomShanahan.report. Find me on Twitter at Shanny4055, SHANNY4055.
Okay, Ben?
It's at True Benjamin on X, at being True84 on all other social media, outlets. Just enjoying myself. I mean, I'm gonna keep saying this. Football is way in the rear view when I get to do things like this. So I mean, I'm just enjoying myself on these airways. Never ever thought I would replace with football with something I enjoy. But listen, when you're doing what you enjoy with people you admire, doesn't even feel like work.
Oh, Ben, we enjoy your candor. You have candor like nobody I've ever seen in this business.
That's why you don't get a check.
Yeah, he's got candor and he's got a hat for the ages. Okay, but that's it. All right, Marvin, go ahead. You and I have our show tomorrow. You're in for a doubleheader with me, but let everybody know how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, it's Marvin Powell III on the internet. Marvin on the mic is my handle. You can catch me 5 shows a week with the South Florida Tribune, and you can catch me multiple days with Locked On USC.
Okay, Mel.
You can find me on all social media at Mel Farr Jr. Follow what we have going on for the youth here in Georgia and also in Michigan, Mel Farr Superstar Foundation.org.
Jeremy.
Well, of course, you can find me right here on the South Florida Tribune every Thursday night on Fire Up. Occasionally right here on Inside the Pigskin. You can also find my writings on the SouthFloridaTribune.com. And you can find me on my channel, which is Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions, where I go live every day giving up Lions news Monday through Friday. Wednesday nights, my NFL Roundtable Talks. Friday nights with the Lions Fan Cave Chat.
Very good. Okay, Candy, take us the rest of the way.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth. Talks about his 40-plus years in the media business and how it has changed. Old school media meets new school media. Get your copy today. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. It's also available in audio version. You can also get a link from our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where we have a plethora of great content. Both Jeremy, I'm going to plug, Jeremy has been doing some draft profiles for a lot of the kids that are trying to get into the NFL draft. And Tom has been writing for us too. So go check out both of their columns on our website. They write great stuff, so go check it out. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. Again, Monday nights we talk baseball, Tuesday nights football, Wednesday nights on Sports Exchange. You never know what Scott's got up his bag of tricks. Thursday night on Fire Up, you can come over to the Country Club, and Jeremy and I host the show, so come watch what we have in store. And then Saturday mornings, Scott does another episode of Inside the Pigskin and sometimes baseball as well. So turn on, if you see that red subscribe button in the lower right hand corner, click it like a share us, and then turn on your notifications so you're notified anytime we go live. We love having people commenting in the chat room. So turn on those notifications so you can jump on in. And then one last plug, Tuesday nights before this show, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on the Chicks podcast. It's 3 Chicks in a Pod or Chicks in Salsa. I'm one of the panelists on there, and we talk all things sports. Today we talked a little bit about the latest girls filing suit against Pitt in the women's basketball world. And then we talked Super Bowl because Dawn, one of the girls, was actually at all of the Super Bowl events and the Super Bowl this year. This was her 15th game that she's been to. So go check out our YouTube there, and check out the show as well to learn more. So
yeah, Jeremy's done a really nice job writing some profiles on my Senior Bowl players. So I'll be writing a couple more as we go along, but Jeremy's done a good job looking for his columns, not only with his stuff, but some of the stuff that we've already sent his way. Everybody, we appreciate the contributions for that matter with everybody that participates on the network. You see a bunch of them tonight with Jeremy, Candy, Mel, Marvin, Ben, Tommy. They give it your best shot every single time. I do the best I can to not screw things up a little bit and try to keep things on track. So appreciate everybody out there. I'll say my parting shots and just turn them into topics. And I would rather defer and let everybody get their 2 cents worth instead. Because, let's face it, I come up with 12 parting shots. I might as well let everybody say what they want to say. And that's me trying to improve there. But I got a good parting shot that I think will be worthwhile. That will become a topic probably next Tuesday night. So we'll stay tuned. One last thing before we get out of here is on Saturday, one of our big stories we're going to talk about is North Dakota State. The Bison will be obviously going to FBS. I'm going to spend a lot of time on there and as well to talk about that transition from FCS to FBS. So I hope you can join us on Saturday morning. And we'll also have baseball on Saturday as part of a doubleheader, and Sports Wrap is going to be rebranded on Thursday. It will not be one-dimensional with hockey anymore. We're going to try a lot of different things as well, inviting guests. So hope you can stay tuned as we continue to rebrand and do different things here. So with that said, I want to thank everybody for joining us on Inside the Pigskin. On behalf of Jeremy Ballrick, Candy Ebling, Mel Farr Jr., Marvin Powell III, Ben Troop, Tom Shanahan, great job to every one of you people out there, all my teammates tonight. Proud of you. We'll see if we can do better next Tuesday night here on the network. Take care, everybody. Have a great night and enjoy the football. We'll keep football going. We're not done. We got United Football League, and I got plenty of topics that we're going to talk about to make it look like football season isn't going away. Good night, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining us. And once again, while we're live, great job to my crew. I'm proud of you, every one of y'all. Thanks a lot for being a part of this whole thing. I want to let everybody know we appreciate each and every one of you. Good night, everybody.